Man, so where do we start, Fab?
All
I
right,
see so many options here, and
exactly.
I don't have any experience with cigars, so this is all
Yeah,
fairly new to me. So
yes.
I'm
So,
I know you're a cigar enthusiast, so I'm a student.
all right. So a lot of times with cigars, they go from different colors, the leaf. They go from light to dark.
Hmm.
If you're going to start, I always suggest like a lighter leaf. Now, it varies where they make it to. A lot of they use Ecuadorian leaves, Honduran leaves, Puerto Rican leaves, Cuban leaves. It's totally different, but you got to find your own taste. So I always say start something maybe light. I always suggest like an Arturo Fuente. They're a good cigar. They burn well. That's what you got to also find that it burns well. Like today, I'm going to smoke my friend. She owns a cigar company. It's called Tainas. Taina
Tainas, I
Cigar.
love it. Love
Rolled
it.
in Puerto Rico, and she's Puerto Rican. So
Nice.
yeah, her and her husband run this business. So I'm going to give a shout out to Taina.
That's amazing. What's her name?
Her name goes by Taina.
So your friend's name?
Oh, good question. So now I got to think. Now you're making me think. Oh my God. Lori. Is it Lori?
Lori.
Lori.
Okay, nice,
Yes.
nice.
So yes, so I always suggest start with one in a Toro Fuente. Toro Fuentes, you can't go wrong. They're not that long, so it's good. Oh, so something like this is good, you see?
What do you think is the perfect cigar for a beginner?
Something like that. Like it's and it has to do with the leaf. See, when you get a dark leaf, you tend to choke on it
Hmm,
because it's so strong. But when you get a lighter one, it just goes down smooth.
got
So
it,
this is a good starting cigar. It's not big, it's light and small.
got it.
Now remember, now also top shelves are like less expensive. They get expensive, they go down.
I see.
You know,
That's
or
good to
it
know.
yes, and it's also also you got to check out because it depends on cigar lounge. A lot of times they go the other way.
Yeah,
So I always suggest first cigar, don't spend too much. The price doesn't determine the if you're gonna like it or not.
I see.
So just pick something, lower shelf or upper shelf, something that's inexpensive, light, smoke it and try it.
Quick question. What determines whether or not a cigar is expensive versus the inexpensive ones?
Good question. A lot of times it's how they're made. So a lot of this, so what they do with cigar leaves, they put them in a barn
Hmm.
and they do like we do with meat. You
Hmm.
know, you put brisket.
Yeah,
So the same thing with leaves, and they put it in a big. It looks like a shed, and they burn it and it smokes the leaves.
nice.
So a lot of time it's the procedure
Mm,
and where it comes from. So they may smoke this leaf for 3 days, while another one's smoked for 30 days.
got it.
So it makes it richer.
Got it.
Takes more time. It costs more money.
Mm,
It's just simple logic.
yeah,
So that's how it is determined. So a lot of them are made locally. So that's why a lot of times you want to also try some hand rolls.
I see.
Locally hand rolls.
Yeah, I know we have them in Tampa and
Yeah.
Ybor.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And you could find it inexpensive. You can buy them cheap, keep them in your house, and you'll be good.
nice.
And they actually come out to maybe like if you buy them wholesale, probably between $5 and $10 a stick.
Nice. I
Yeah,
love it.
very
I
cheap.
love it.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is your favorite, outside of your friends, of
Yes.
course,
Yes.
right? What's your favorite cigar?
Arturo Fuente.
So if this was the very last cigar, this would be the very last one you would ever smoke if you
Yes.
had one.
Yes.
Nice. Well, that's
So
good to know.
so now that's the one I like now. Next month, I
That's
don't know.
right. That's
You
right.
see, it's like food. You know, one day you may want this,
Yep,
next month you may want something else. So
absolutely.
it changes.
Got it.
But right now, Arturo Fuentes are my good.
I love that. So which one would be a good option for me, would you say?
I would definitely do like an Arturo Fuente. Like
Okay.
this one's good. I can't see up there, but a lighter one. Yeah.
So a lighter one here, we got this one, and we've got this one right here. Which one would you say?
Let me see, bring it down a little bit more. Yeah, do this one.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
do
All
that.
right, let's do it. I'm excited.
Oh yes,
I'm
me
excited.
too. So now we'll cut it at the over here. So so a lot of the cigar lounges, let's go over here, somebody's there. They have the cutter, right? So you got the round, and that's
Mm.
called this over here V cut. So what do we want to do? We want to do a V cut. I always suggest V cut. But the big V cut is good. So you go and then
Nice.
unwrap it and then
Okay.
yeah.
I've actually never used one of those before,
No,
so
watch your fingers.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, then you
So
pull the sleeve on the
this
top.
sleeve right.
Yeah, pull it out. Pull this way.
Okay. Trying to.
I know. Now I have to wear a jacket. This is the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Now you take it. You want to put it here.
Right here.
Yeah, and then
Alright.
bring it down. Nice and
Alright.
straight. Boom. Hard. That's it.
All right.
Oh, you put it in the wrong side.
Wrong side.
Yeah, so now do it this side.
All right.
All right.
Good to know.
See, you learned it. You
Yeah.
learned it.
All right.
That's hard. Ah, you got it.
All right.
So now we take it, right?
You pretty much throw this out.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So now when you light a cigar, you don't want to just like, bam, burn it. You want to take it from a distance. So what happened when you get too close, you're gonna smoke it. You'll taste smoky. So now you get a little light, and then you.
Nice.
Now you do it. You just gotta
Love it.
push hard on
All
that.
right. Right here.
Yeah,
Directly
not too
first.
close. Yeah, exactly. Just
All right.
get the flame in there.
And then
Then
right
pour,
here.
and then yeah, not too close. Yeah. And you see how it's
how's
burning.
that?
That's good.
Yeah.
You see how it's burning like even. That's what you want. That's what you want to shoot for.
So you just keep rotating.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it'll be fine. And you always keep a lighter at hand because sometimes it tend to shut off, turn off. So
Got
so
it.
that you want to burn a little bit more over here to that side, so to a
Mm.
little more flame, where it's not. That's it. Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, yo.
Shall we begin?
Let's begin.
Let's do it. Good stuff. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. All right.
Mm. Oh, this is good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got.
It's gonna go down as my favorite podcast experience, man.
So here.
All right.
So there's always a lighter at hand just in case.
Okay.
Now you wash it down. Salute.
Salud.
Mm.
Ah, that's
Ah,
nice,
good.
man. That's perfect.
Perfect. Right?
Yeah,
I got.
that is perfect.
Yeah. Beautiful.
This might be my new little favorite hobby here,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's come out from time to time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Journey Podcast. I am your host, Josh Valentine, and today we have a very, very dynamic guest, and I would say one of the most interesting people that I know, my brother Fabricio Zambrano, also known as Fab the Vegan. He is not only an entrepreneur, he's a father, he's wears many hats, but I don't want to say most importantly, but it's really cool that you're also a cigar enthusiast.
Oh,
So
yes.
we are here today at Havana Nights
Havana Nights.
in Trinity, Florida, and a really beautiful establishment here. And we got some cigars, we got some Stella to go with the cigars,
yes.
and I'm really excited about this episode, man.
Me too.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, Fab the Vegan. What's going on, brother?
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
Thank you. This is fun. I like fun things.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
this is good. Thank you for coming out of Trinity.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
definitely,
Appreciate it.
definitely. I know you have a property not too far from
Yes,
here,
yes.
so it worked out.
Worked out
And
perfect for me.
man, where do we begin, right? Because I know you're really known for being a plant-based lifestyle enthusiast. You also, or advocate, I should say even, and I actually met you on television. So you're
Yes.
always featured on our national, our television network for NBC. Bloom TV,
Right.
and always a pleasure seeing you on there, dropping gems on the
Thank you.
vegan lifestyle and everything
Thank you,
like
thank
that.
you.
And yeah, man, if you don't mind, let's kind of share a little bit of your backstory. Like, how in the world did you get into what it is that you do today? The part that I didn't mention is you're also the founder of is Fabricio and Sons Marble and Granite,
Yes, yes.
and you have an amazing entrepreneurial backstory. But
Thank you.
give
Thank
our
you.
audience a little bit about your humble beginnings and how you got to this point.
My humble beginnings. Okay. Grew up in New York. Originally from Ecuador. I came to the States when I was like 8 years old. And I grew up in Queens, New York. Went to high school. Didn't finish. I didn't like school. There was something about school I just didn't like. I couldn't pay attention. So I started working. And back then you had to work. You didn't stay home. Mom didn't allow nobody in the house. Forget about it.
Mm.
And then I went to work, and I started doing at 16 years old, working supermarkets, things like that. And then around when I was 21 years old, I had a friend who worked in the stone industry
Mm.
for a company in Long Island City, New York. And he told me about a job that was available. And at that time, what was that, 84, 85, minimum wage was 3.15, I believe.
Mm.
And this was union. He was paying $9 an hour. I
Wow.
said, "Oh, I'm
$9.
there."
Yeah.
So, and you know, but the boss said, so I went in for the money. But when I started like working with my boss at that time, I loved it. The stuff they did with marble, with floors, everything. I was like, wow, I was amazed.
Mm.
And then I said, I'm gonna learn all I can because one day I'm gonna have my own business.
Wow.
I made that determination like a month after I started.
Wow.
Because first I don't like following instructions,
Yeah.
and I found something that I can learn with my hands.
Mm.
Forget about it. And then that's how I started learning. I remember I used to have my boss and then Benedetto. And you know, he said, Benny, why you doing this? Why you doing that? Fabrizio, you ask too many questions, because he was Italian. Fabrizio, you ask too many questions. But I tell you, but he saw that I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
He showed me. And then I tried opening my first company in New York in I started working in 85, so 1988.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like in my late 20s. But I didn't know about the union, who wants to union in New York and all that, you know. Very well connected. You got to pay a lot of people under the table. So I had to shut the business down. That kind of thing. And so then I started the business, you know, I started learning. And then I decided to move to Florida in 97, 98. And I opened a business here.
So did you have work at the time when you first came, or
No, well, so what happened? Thank God that I was working for a company, so I was working nights,
Mhm.
doing like marble maintenance in the lobbies and the big lobbies in New York. And I told him that I was going to, you know, make at that time decent money, union. But the reason I wanted to get out of New York was to bring my kids out of there. I used to visit Florida a lot, actually this area, and it was slow, it was calm, and I didn't want my kids hanging out in front of bodegas and other stuff, you
Of
know?
course, of course.
And the New York life, I didn't want to give them that.
Yeah.
So I was visiting a lot around here. And then I decided to one day just say, you know what, I'm just going to move. But I was already prepared. Like I tell people, I was already prepared to work in Burger King during the day, McDonald's at night, and clean toilets.
Mm.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was just going to raise my family right. I was going to get dirty if I had to.
Yeah.
No shame in my game.
Mm.
You know? And then, but when I told my ex-boss that I was leaving, I was moving, you know, I thought he said, okay, well, you know. He said, why don't we do this? He says, why don't you give me a price for the hotels that I was restoring every night? I go, we could do it like once a month, and you give me a price. You come here, and I'll pay you,
Mm.
and you could go back to Florida.
Yeah.
Sweet deal.
Mm.
So I was traveling to New York like every other week for about a week. I used to stay with my sister and some other places, and I was doing the work, come home with a check.
Wow.
And over here, you know, compared to New York, I rented a house. I think I was only paying like $400.
Crazy.
Oh man, I was in
Crazy.
heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so anyway, so that started. But you know, at the same time, opened the business here, and then from there I started. So I used to go to New York and work, whatever I had to do. Then I used to come here. I made business cards. I used to go to Tampa. There was a lot of stone companies over there.
Mm.
And I used to give him a card. I go, excuse me, my name's Fabrizio. This is what I do. But okay, thank you very much. But I saw myself so cheap. Anything, just for example, that worth $100, I was doing it for $50,
Mm.
and so on. Like I tell people, I was selling myself like a chip hooker.
Yeah.
But I had to, because
Of
I had to
course,
get the
you
name
started
over
out.
there.
Yeah.
You know. And I started building. I raised my kids in the business. You know, I'm the old school, so ever since they were 5 years old, I used to take them to work with me, so they can see what daddy did.
Of course, of course.
You know, so
Wow.
so then they learned it, and if they were living with me under my roof, they went to work. Elementary, junior high, high school, college. If you were living under my roof,
Mm.
you went to work.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I was very old school.
Yeah.
So they learned the business, of course. when they got that chance to went to college. My youngest son
Yeah.
went all
The
the way to
freedom.
West Virginia. My older son went all the way to West Virginia. How come you know it's cold over there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But he was used to Florida cold.
yeah.
I said, well, over there it gets so cold that you're gonna have to walk backwards, and the wind still goes through your.
Yeah.
And it really lasts a year there. So he said, hey, Dad, you don't want to come back. I said, all right, find the college you're going to go to, finish over there because you ain't coming out and you're working for me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I go under this roof. The only one that deserves to sleep is me. I used to tell him, I go, under this roof, I'm God. My rules,
Yeah.
oh, you don't give shit of me.
Absolutely.
Dude, I was like,
And that was the old school way,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then we need a little more of that today.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so anyway, so that's when I built a business and God blessed me with it. And here I am 27 years later.
Wow. Still in
It's
business.
still in business. And now my two boys, one is 38, the other one's 31. They're running the business for the last fully for about 3 years now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And in 2020 is when I started taking my I sat both of my sons down, 2020. I said, okay, I got one of you, so I'm gonna show you the business, but I'm gonna start putting away a little and let you handle things. And my older son, which he was the first, I said, what about you? He goes, no, he goes, at that time they already called me boss, now boss. I can't deal with people.
Yeah.
All right. And I told my youngest son, I go, I guess you're in. And he was only like 25 then.
Mm.
No?
Mm.
Wow.
Wow. 25
Yeah.
and took over the business. Now, what was the product or service that you started out with the business? Like, what exactly were you offering?
Yeah. So what we did it's called restoration. So if you have a marble floor that's scratched up,
Yeah.
we went, we grind, and we polished it.
Mm.
So tables, walls, fireplaces, anything.
Wow.
You know, so that's how I started.
How was the business growth at the beginning stages? Did it take a while for it to finally take off?
Took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while, let me see, till about 2000. So that was 98. So 2001 is when I started seeing a little more income. I
Mm.
remember.
Yeah.
2001, it was a good year already. By that time already, I put 3 crews out there,
Mm.
you know, and
Yeah.
but I was just hiring people, but I wasn't making the money. It looked like I was making money. I was making the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like it is, So yeah.
How did you navigate during that time, like when it was just slow and taking care of a family? Because I know
Yeah.
the stress that can come with. I got 3 boys myself,
I know.
so it can be stressful just navigating through getting the business off the ground, and sometimes you get hit with expenses that you didn't expect, right?
When they were young, my kids, all of them got chubby. And I'll tell you why, because you gave the cheapest thing,
Yeah.
rice and beans or rice and eggs and ketchup.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
times when I sat there and I ate macaroni and cheese. Now, macaroni and cheese back then was like 4 boxes for $1.
Mm.
I remember I used to do the same thing my mom did. She used to throw vegetables in and make it bigger,
Yeah.
you know? Anyway, so my kids would eat some meat or chicken. I would just macaroni and cheese, rice, or whatever. You got to adapt to the times.
Of course.
I tell people, you're not always going to eat meat.
Steak.
Yeah, you're not always going to eat steak. But, that's when the real test comes. Everybody can, be an entrepreneur when they eat a steak. Be an entrepreneur when you got to eat rice and eggs.
That's right.
That's
right.
You know,
Yeah. Humble season.
And
Absolutely.
your humble season is what builds you up.
That's right.
Your humble season is what makes you the person you would be in the future.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah, I love that.
And you learn to be humble. You learn to respect other people, and you learn to love other people, and most of all, love yourself.
Of course, of
Mhm.
course. No, I love that, man. By the way, when do I ash this? How
That's
much
good
does?
enough. Just tap
Okay,
it.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you guys can see, I'm a beginner when it comes to
Yeah.
cigars. So I'm getting schooled by Fab.
So actually, sometimes you let the ash grow,
Yeah.
and actually the cigar breathes better with the ash on top,
Mm.
and you keep it like this, you know?
Okay. So you.
Yeah, and you let it. Yeah.
So when you're sitting here, is there a certain way to hold it? That,
That's after it starts burning, it's good. I like holding
and
it like this.
you can keep it like this.
Yeah, keep it like that. You keep
Okay.
it like that. You keep it like that. You keep it like
Okay.
that.
That's good to know. Yeah. Nah, man, that's amazing. When did you start getting into cigars?
Oh my God! You know that? So I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Mm.
So I had a big scare back in the early 90s, 91, 92. I was smoking 2 packs of Newport a day.
Wow.
I was heavy, I was smoking a lot. And then one day, like I felt something in my mouth, so I went to spit. Now, a whole thing of blood came out. I said, oh, my kids were babies. Alex, my younger, wasn't even born yet. I was like, skin.
Wow.
So I started like, and like I would kept spitting blood out. I'm already thinking cancer. Huh? I said, oh man. But anyway, it turns out that it was a tooth I was bleeding.
Mm.
It was a good scare because I stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, I stopped.
Cold turkey.
I had to, because then again, I looked, I got kids.
Yeah.
At that time, I had a wife. I got responsibilities. So I said, okay, I got to choose.
Yeah.
So then years later, I don't know how I got into cigars. I said, you don't even help them, you just smoke, it's really fun. And I think it was like 94, 95, I started getting into cigars.
Mm.
So that was a while ago. So I've
Wow.
been smoking since then.
Yeah.
Not straight, but there's times when I just want to smoke, there's times when I smoke.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
so
Yeah.
but I love them.
Yeah.
Especially now, I learn a lot. So,
No, definitely, definitely. So going back to the business journey, I know you had some health challenges that came along the way, and that kind of is what led to your journey with the vegan lifestyle and everything like that.
yeah.
How did you even get unhealthy in the first place? Was it just kind of eating like shit while
Mhm.
you're out hustling, grinding?
You said it.
Yeah.
So what happened? Every entrepreneur will tell you, anybody who's building a business will tell you that they don't eat properly. They eat on the go.
Yeah.
So at least today there's more options.
Yep. That's true.
But drive-throughs are so simple. I'm just gonna get me a burger.
Yep. Yep.
And it's gonna keep going. When I get home, I'm gonna eat something.
Yeah.
That's how we talk. That was me. And back then there was no healthy food like today. It was Burger King, McDonald's, whatever, just fast food. Drive-through. So I was out there hustling from 7 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. So in the mornings, get me some McDonald's on the 4th. In the afternoon, some Burger King, fast food all day long. So then when I got home, of course I was 9 o'clock at night. Of course I was hungry. There's nothing nutritious there.
Of
It's
course.
junk,
Yeah.
processed. And of course I was hungry, and I think that I needed was more food. I didn't know I needed nutrition. And at that time, I told myself, rice like this,
Yeah.
3 chuletas, 3 pork chops, and and a little salad, and all this stuff, and the fried plantains,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I used to take them if some meat was fried. Then when I finished, I went to like we always do. We go to the stovetop. We take the grease and put it over the rice or the
Yeah.
and we eat the. That was me. So
Year after year.
after year
Yeah.
after years, and I got real big. I mean, I went up to over 300 pounds.
Wow.
And I was I think I was
Over
like
300 pounds.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh now, if you don't mind sharing?
no, it's a thing 155.
Wow. Okay.
No
Well, we
stretch
weigh right
mark,
around the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing. The body's
Half
amazing.
the weight.
Half the weight. I'm half the man I was. So then, so then when I was 44, 2007, I think it was, or 8, I got diagnosed with diabetes.
Mm.
Now I knew I had diabetes, but I was so much in the hustle that I ignored it, and I was very thirsty and peeing a lot,
Wow.
and all the signs of a diabetic. So one day I went to the hospital, the emergency room. Sure enough, my blood sugar was up. They had to keep me there. They had to put, the IV. They had to start giving me insulin and, pills, everything. And then that's when I was diabetic. But then the thing happened that I got released from the hospital. They gave me the pills. They gave me everything. I get home, no lie, maybe like a week later, I went to get up one morning. My body had shut down. I couldn't move from there.
Wow.
It attacked my nervous system.
Mm.
I was bedridden for almost 8 months.
Wow.
I could sleep.
This is while you were running the business.
Yeah. Then I couldn't run it no more, so I had to shut it down.
Wow.
I left. I remember my last employee. I left the work till after Christmas.
Mm.
And I said I couldn't do it no more, so I shut down. I didn't lose the house, but all the money, all the credit card, I spent everything. So I had to say, I got to go to work. I got to pay some bills.
Wow.
And sure enough, I went to the doctors and told them that I wasn't feeling good. Of course, they give you more medicine. They started giving me painkillers.
Mm.
I got a little addicted to painkillers because it did the job.
Wow.
So, work was still coming in, but I used to turn it down. Everybody knew me. And I remember going to work, and I started taking my oldest son at that time. He didn't go to school for a couple of days, so we could go make some money. I used to take a a pill in the morning, a pill on the way to work, and a painkiller on the way back, a
Yeah.
painkiller on the way to back. Literally, when I didn't work, I used to sit in that couch like this. Saliva was slipping by, and I was
Wow.
like, And I'm looking at my kids. I said, I got to do something. I've always been a fighter. So
Wow.
I got to do something. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take this pill, just cut them in half. I should take half and suffer the consequences, but I knew I was going to try to do something. So I used to go in front of my house and just walk in the front like for 5 minutes to get the blood moving. And that's how, so then little by little, I walked down the back, little by little, started walking around a bit.
Wow.
And I started getting off those painkillers. And I started going back to Europe,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
What
crazy.
was that like, man? Just like mentally, I can only imagine the stress, the anxiety, like not knowing whether or not you're gonna bounce back or
Oh,
like
yeah.
what was that? Or would you say that was the toughest season for you during
yeah.
that time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got so bad that I couldn't even sleep in the master with my wife at the time. My daughter had just left for college, and I used to go, to her bedroom to sleep because I used to curse, yell, was cursing God. I just wanted to die. I just wanted to die.
Wow.
It was so tough. But then it's just there. I used to say, I got three kids. I got to do something. At that time, I saw, yeah, 3 kids. I got to do something. I just forced myself to get better. Forced because I had to go to work. I was about to lose a house.
Mm.
Where were we gonna go?
Yeah.
So I was like, put you in a place that if you don't have faith and strength, you don't survive.
Yeah. Would you say that's what really got you through during those dark days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom raised me. Today's my mom's birthday. She passed away 5 years ago.
Wow, what was her name?
Gladys.
Gladys. Happy
Yeah.
birthday to Gladys. You did
Mom.
a great job.
She's the
job.
best.
Wow.
She was tough. That's why she did a great job.
Wow.
So what was I
Talk
saying?
about divine intervention, right?
Yeah,
To be here.
I know.
on-
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna make a post. Thank you.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still feel she talks to me. She wasn't very. She was strong and direct. When I went to drop out of high school, I said, "Mom, I don't want to go to school." She goes, "I'm not going to force you." 4'10" lady. I'm not going to force you to go to school, but you're getting a job.
Yeah.
You're not going to stay around here watching TV.
That's right.
I said, "Okay, I'll get me a job." One day she goes, "At what time you leaving?" I said, "I'm going to go out because she used to leave for work." I said, "I'm going to go around 9." That day I remember I didn't go. And she actually came at lunchtime and she found me in the house.
Wow.
I wasn't looking for work. What was that for? Next day she gets me up, get dressed, get ready, because I'm locking the door. You going out,
Mm.
and I'm not going to let you in till I come back. Go find a job.
Wow.
And my first job was Burger King.
Wow.
But you see, when they put you in position like that, you find a job.
Of
You
course,
do what
of
you got to
course.
do.
It's a must.
It's a must.
Yeah.
But today, people make it too easy. Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah. Your
Yeah,
back was
no.
against the wall. You had to figure it out. Yeah.
You got to. So anyway, so got me that job and then other jobs along the way. So I found the model,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It reminds me, a mentor of mine would always say, in life, you don't get your shoulds, you get your must. And if your mindset was, yeah, I should get a job today, rather than like, oh, I must get one because if I don't, I'm not going back home. Right. So,
A great lesson I learned.
yeah.
When I bought my house here, the first house that I still got over here, it was a corner property, no trees, no nothing. So I'm from New York, I want palm trees. So I call a landscaper. He puts me 12 palm trees around the property. About this one. Now they're like 30 feet. So then, from New York, I got every morning. I was watering them. I went to the home improvement store and I got me some feed for the palm tree. So, the palm trees are here. So, I go out there, with the scoop, I put it, water it, I'm doing all that. A week later, the guy who put the trees up, he saw that I was putting the feed. This is such a good lesson for parents and everybody. So he goes, "Mr. Sembrano, could I speak to you?" He knocked on my door. "Can I talk to you?" "Sure." I went outside. He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I know what you're trying to do. You try to make them grow." He goes, "But if you put the feed right along the trunk, you're going to stunt them." He said, "You got to put the feed 3 feet away from the root. So when the tree roots go out and grab it, that's when they grow." That's always stuck with me. Same thing with kids. Same thing with, don't give it to them.
Yeah.
You got to make them go out and grab it. And that's when they grow. I was like, wow.
Stretch goal. Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that, man.
Yeah,
Really,
that was such a
amazing
lesson.
lesson. Yeah.
You know, it's like you know, I used to be a lot. I believe in God, and I used to read the Bible a lot. You know, and there's a quote in there that says, and to me, it's a life book. You know,
Of course.
you know, and they said, they asked Jesus, they told Jesus, oh, why don't you tell your disciples to be quiet? Because supposedly they were talking about the greatness of God. He goes like this: if I ask them to be quiet, even the rocks will speak.
Yeah.
And we got in our lives so many rocks come along our way that sometimes we don't receive it.
Yeah.
Greater blessings comes from the rocks than other people. Rocks are
right.
people you just cross along the street. They tell you, by the way, you look great today.
Yeah.
From a stranger?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. So,
Yeah. Really great advice. Absolutely. Now, tell us a little bit about what getting out of the valley looked like for you. What was your job, your first job, like when you finally started to get your shit together and find your way back to the light?
That's good. I'm still trying to get my shit together. Well, you know, you get your shit together little by little,
Yeah.
in levels,
Yeah.
in levels.
Yeah.
You never just say, okay, I'm good for the rest of my life.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day is
So
a struggle. Every day you try to get to the next level, or you try to do something
So
to
true.
get to the next level.
That's right.
And every day I said to myself, I'm going to do. My mom used to say, don't ever go back to the pillow not learning something. That's why I always try to educate myself. I try to meet new people. Education is not only books or inspirational speakers, it's just normal people.
Yeah. That's right.
Normal people you meet, or just say a hi, and I don't know. So I always try to educate every day. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
I'm big on that. Educating myself, whatever it may be. Like I told, now I'm listening to Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Every morning he gives me a little nugget.
Oh yeah.
You know, half an hour, I have it there while I make my coffee and sit there. Say, well, okay. When I put it on TV, so I don't scroll on my phone.
Mhm.
You know, put it on YouTube. That's the one. But you little by little, and I started. But the thing you do learn is how to get out quicker from those words.
That's right. That's right.
But you say, yeah, I did it. Okay.
Yep.
So now I just gotta maneuver myself. You know, again, like you said, you know, be still and know that I am God.
Mhm.
It's chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
It's gonna work itself out.
But deep inside, we are gods.
Yep.
Our own God.
Absolutely. Yep.
You know, so just learn. Just sit back, and I learned that.
Mhm.
At 63, I learned that.
Mm.
Yeah, shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. I think that helps you every day. You know, in business, relationships, and anything in life. You know, you take a pause. You're not a young guy who just, oh yeah, you want to, you know,
Yeah. For sure.
it's crazy. Yeah, but little by little, you know, and you're always gonna have values and everything in life.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
How long did it take you to kind of build the business back up? Like, did you just kind of go into a humble season where you worked a traditional 9 to 5, or?
Nope. I dug myself out. Then I started advertising again. Advertising back then was going into local shops or people that work the same industry, introduce myself.
Mm.
And already by that time, I already had some contacts. So I used to call them, okay, I'm good, and this and that. Okay, great. And the work just started coming back, and little by little, they got to know me more. The name earned a lot of respect. And what I told my son, my younger son, when I was instructing him on what to do. So what I did with my son, when I said I started taking him with me, I said, you're going to be by my side in estimates. I want you to hold a pad, no phone. I want you to write.
Mm.
Because then if a customer sees you with a phone, they think you're fucking around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go with a pad. I show them how to shake hands. Don't be this. Don't do this. Firm. Look at customers in the eye. I go and talk to them. I go and then I tell them, okay. When I send you on your own, I go. You ask the customer, excuse me, is it okay if I take a picture?
Mhm.
And they'll tell you yes. I go because I would like to show, you know, my father, the boss, what I saw, so it can give you a more accurate estimate.
Mhm.
You know, one thing you never do, although, don't ever bullshit a customer.
Yeah.
Because the first time you bullshit a customer, you lose his business and everybody there.
I love that. Yeah. Such great advice.
You know, especially with social media these days, you got to be careful. So
Oh, yeah.
anyway, so I started learning, and always dress well.
Mm.
Always shave, always dress well, nice clothes, clean clothes. Don't ever you know, go dirty.
Keep it professional.
Keep it professional, you know. And then he started learning, picking up. Now he's running the whole show.
Wow.
So now he's doing a lot of traveling. My younger son is He just came back from Italy. Back before that, he was in Brazil.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he just working with the Stone Shows, working, getting our name up there. Like I remember when he went the first time he went abroad, he texted me. He goes, "Hey, boss," because I'll copy that over. "Hey, boss, your name is international now.
I love
It's
it.
global." I said, "So all of that.
I love it.
Now I can go."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But they're good kids, and
It's amazing.
yeah, don't spare the rod, man.
Mm.
And the rod don't mean beat, the rod
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah. No,
Love,
that's beautiful.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
You know, I love this story because, you know, I got three boys, and
Mm,
I think every entrepreneur that's building a company
mhm,
has this vision of maybe one of their sons taking over or just expanding
mhm.
upon this vision. And you know, it's selfish in a way, but in a sense, it's like it's family legacy. You know, it's how it should be, right? And
Absolutely.
they should take it to the next level.
Yes,
And you want them to do better than
of
you even
course.
did.
Yes, of course.
And I love that about entrepreneurship is you're laying a foundation for them, and with the hope that they're actually going to do better. I had
Right.
heard Steve Harvey say, and I love this quote. He said, "Your father is the only person in your life that will ever want you to be better than him."
Mhm.
Right? And like the only person, like nobody wants other people
Yeah,
to
no,
necessarily
no.
just do better than,
Yeah.
but your father, 100% will always want
Yeah.
his son to do better than him.
Exactly.
And I love that, man. And I'm sure you have the same,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, aspirations for your kids.
When I see them, what they're doing these days, I'm like, just stay amazed. And
Yeah.
no lie, I'm like, I see them post on social media, tears come down my eyes. I go, look at this. I never knew that a decision that I made 30 years ago, whatever. I've been in the mobile industry now 40 years.
Wow.
That decision was going to affect the rest of my life.
Wow.
With the kids and everything. See, the problem, why people like Rockefellers and all those rich people, why they have a legacy and why their kids follow the same thing? Because they don't give them a choice.
Mm.
You heard a lot of people from India, they're all doctors.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and the doctor will tell you, no, we didn't have a choice.
That's true.
We were going to become
That's
a
true.
doctor.
Yeah, so true.
And the problem with our people, I'm talking about Latinos, we give them a choice.
Yeah. Mm.
So we're denying them something that they may use it or like my kids did in the future. They both got houses now. They got kids that's supporting in the business. And then, I told them once, I go, what the best part of all this is? That you guys establish the business.
Yeah.
I go, and anytime your kids need you, you don't have to ask somebody.
Yep.
Would I have the 27th off of this month because I'm going to go see my kids play? No, you can't go because and the boys would say, no, because I'm going
Yeah.
to. So you get to live life while you work. You don't have to live life after.
Yeah, for sure.
And they see the struggle. And always take the kids to work. Always sit them down. Let them watch what you do. It's very important.
Yeah, that's so true, man.
Yeah,
It's so true. I love bringing my kids on different podcasts. I had them on a farm recently with a farmer, which was pretty cool because they were like playing with the animals. But it's interesting you say that because I remember going to India and I did some volunteer work out there. And you ask every kid, what do they want to be when they grow up? Doctor or engineer? Doctor or engineer? Like every single kid.
All of them.
And
Yeah.
they didn't have that choice. It's kind of expected.
They expect it.
And in America, a lot of people don't know this. The number one nationality for income ethnicity is Indian, and a lot of it is due to the fact that they go in these specialized careers and they thrive.
Right, and they
So, yeah,
thrive, and they're
yeah.
workers.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, we went to the state, I'm not sure, but I used to work on 7-Elevens. There was a family Indian, the boy, they'd come home, in India, they put the money together. They send one to the States, they'll buy a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Next year, another family, and they buy another, and they
Yep.
create.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You go to Asian restaurants.
Yeah.
You see the kids doing homework, the wife working in the back, the husband's doing this. They don't source out their business, and they keep it in the family. Next year, they open another Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
That's what we got to learn.
yeah, yeah.
Don't give kids choices. No, they don't. It happens in everything because we just have become that. They ask the kids, "Oh, what would you like to eat tonight?"
Yeah.
Where would I put?
I tell my wife all that
Yeah.
all the time. Like they should not have a
No,
choice on
they
what
should.
they should.
Because when they go to the real
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
they don't have a
For
choice.
sure, for sure.
That's why I tell people: raise your kids on no's, because the war is going to give them a lot of no's. Oh, can I have this? No.
Yeah.
But daddy,
Yep.
who cares?
Yeah.
Raise them? No, you can't.
Yeah.
It was nice because I raised my 3 kids like that. I didn't do it. I did it the way I raised my kids because I grew up with my father.
Mhm.
I didn't have no that male influence, nothing. I didn't know him. I was raised by my mother.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to turn out to like my father. So I used him as a blueprint for what not to do.
be, yeah, or what to do. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I was, you know, I would raise my kids very hard, this and that. You know, it's funny because
Mhm.
the other day I'm at my daughter's house visiting, and she's serving lunch, we were eating, and my granddaughter, 8 years old, she goes, "Mom, could I have more?" And you know, my daughter's very into health food and everything. She's, you know, plant-based vegan, and she goes, which I just said it there. She goes, "No, you had enough. Bring your plate and wash it."
Mm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But today, you want more? Sure,
Yep.
sure.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like I would just sit there and say, "Wow, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
I know, you know, you remind me of that. You worse at
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny you mentioned that because when people come to my house, oftentimes I have to tell them like we only have water and almond milk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, when they raise their children, they've got all kinds of juices and everything like. But if they don't know any different, if that's their only option, and they
That's
don't
what.
complain,
No, they don't complain.
they don't complain. So
No.
it's kind of countercultural today to just say something like, "Oh, don't give them any options," because
Yeah,
you know, like this
yeah,
new
yeah,
generation, it's a
yeah,
soft parenting,
yeah. So there's a lot of soft back.
and we see the
Yeah,
consequences of it.
yeah,
It reminds me of the quote they say. It's something along the lines of, you know, strong men create good times, right? Good times create soft men,
Mhm.
and then you know, soft men. It's the ongoing cycle, right? So when we're in good times, it's like we kind of get soft with things
Yeah,
like parenting, or
yeah.
we're not as traditional or conservative.
Right,
But
right.
then we end up raising a generation of really,
Yeah.
really soft, and then we pay the consequence,
Then we pay the consequence.
and
We
and
do.
then it leads to hard times.
Yeah, exactly. We pay the consequence no matter what we do,
Yeah.
good or bad. It's like my generation. You know, you know, we grew up thinking poor. Now I realize that we weren't. You know, but you know, so when I started having kids, I said to myself, my daughter was born in '87 or something. I said, well, I'm going to give them everything that I didn't have.
Yeah.
So I bought a house. Each of them had a room, their own TV, VCR, radio. You know, everybody had their own thing, beautiful bed, everything. I mean, it was beautiful. You know, I gave them what I didn't have.
Mm.
But what started happening? Now we didn't eat at the table no more.
That's right.
Everybody took the food to the bedroom.
That's right. Yep.
Everybody watched their own show. Everybody listened to the music, and the family.
Yeah.
There was some
Very
family.
divided. Yeah.
Back in the day when I grew up, we all ate the same thing at the table,
Yeah.
and and my mother, like nobody talked at the table,
Mhm.
you know. And but we grew up with that togetherness.
Absolutely.
And you know, then I sit down sometimes. I say, wow, you know, like I had it wrong. You know, what my kids really needed was to feel safe. As long as the kids feel safe, they could be eating macaroni and cheese every day and they love it.
That's
But
so
if a
true.
kid doesn't feel safe,
Mm.
like you know, me growing up, I never feel safe because you know,
Of
coming from
course.
Mexico, my mother had to leave us for some years to
Living in
come
New
here.
York. And,
Oh my God!
yeah.
So the other one is like they have to feel safe. Then I just realized now, like, wow, they didn't need a TV in their room. But again, it was my mentality from that generation.
Of course. Of
You know?
course.
So every generation got the flip.
Yeah.
Every generation.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I don't think it's bad or good. It's just every generation.
Absolutely. And
You
you
know?
learn something a
Yeah.
little different from every single
Yeah.
one. What was it like for you growing up without your father? I didn't grow up with my biological father
Yeah, yeah.
either. And I always share that part of my journey on the podcast. Like I never shared a meal with my father.
Yeah.
Ever. I never heard a happy birthday from my father. And I'm always curious as to how other people kind of navigated through
Yeah.
that.
Now, I would say like this. If people would say, "Oh, do you miss anchovies?" Say, "No, I never had it. How can I miss it?" Same thing with a family.
Mm.
It was never at my side, so I didn't know what it is to have a father then left. You know, maybe I used to sit with my father, watch TV, and then he leaves. Then I'll miss him.
Yeah.
But I never had that interaction.
Got it.
You know, so I didn't miss him. But as I got older, I realized that I needed a man in my life
Mm. Yeah.
to show me the
That's
way,
right.
to be a father, to be a good husband.
That's right.
Even if he wasn't a good husband, I would have learned what to be a good husband. You know, so you do miss him when you step back when you're already in late in life. You step back, you say, "Yeah, I did it anymore."
Yeah,
You know, somebody slapped me up and say, "You know, what are you doing, Fred?
that's right.
You need somebody to slap you around."
Yeah.
You know, I always tell my girls, you're like, "Well, you know, if I would have had a father like I was, I would have done much greater things."
Of course, of course.
You know, because if I would have done something, I came home and kicked my ass.
Yeah,
I would have to learn to get away. You know?
yeah, for
But I
sure.
know I live with my mother. She worked all day long, so I got away with shit.
Mhm.
You know, so I think a man, uh, not necessarily a father, but a man that can show you, you know, by example,
Mhm.
how to be a man, I think is good.
Do you feel, and it's so good, and I agree with a lot of that, man. Do you feel like there was any shortcomings that pretty much came from your father not being in your life?
Yeah.
Anything that you had to go through from a trauma standpoint or navigating through certain challenges? And if so, what were they?
Let me see. I could think of a lot. You know, I never, I never had a father that I can go to. Let's say, you know, when I was young, I moved into this Queens neighborhood in Woodside. At that time, it was very, let's call it, I don't know if I want to call it racist or whatever, but that's all they knew.
Yeah,
No blame on nobody, but you know, we weren't very welcome. And we were the first Spanish people in our neighborhood. So, you know, a lot of people, all they knew was what they saw. We were different. And we got beat up a lot. We got jumped and everything. So I never had a father to go to a dad. I always have to just go to my room and cry and
wow.
figure out if tomorrow I'm going to walk by that street again or what am I going to do, you know, walk to the street again. So I think, again, it's feeling the safe and nobody and not having nobody to go to, a man,
Yeah,
you know, I think that's, you know, I think that's that was missing a lot.
yeah, I
But
can imagine.
you know, yeah, you know, coming home, you know, and I used to tell my mother, no, I fell off the bike. You know, I just got the shit kicked out of me because I was of a different color,
Of course.
you know. So not to have a father to back me up, that's a thing. That played a lot of role.
For
So I
sure.
had to go inside, and I had to say, okay, either you're gonna keep getting beat up, or you're gonna fight back.
Mm.
So I started fighting back, but I started fighting back the wrong way.
Mm.
You know, I started getting very violent in the streets. I got into things that I shouldn't have, you know, because that was the only way. And I had to put this persona, like a fucking persona,
You had to
kick your
survive.
ass persona, you know. So then you get into trouble because,
Mm.
you know, if it would have been the other way around, if you were our father, you would have said, you know, you tell you, no, let's go handle this, and that's not how you act. We're going to handle this the right or something.
Mhm.
You know, you never know.
Oh yeah,
So I try to be there for my sons a lot like that.
yeah,
I was, you know, and so now they do the same, which is nice, you know.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
it starts, and legacy has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with houses, properties. That's the stupidest definition of legacy. Legacy is when you ever watch Superman 2 or something? That joint from the 70s. It was
Uh,
Superman. I forget his
I
name.
probably did,
Okay,
but
so
don't even remember.
yeah,
It's just so
so
long ago.
there's one episode where he goes to the North Pole because Superman needs advice from his father. So in the North Pole, his father left him like a cave
Yeah.
with all these crystals.
Hmm.
So you take a crystal, put it in. Father, he used to ask him, but he would answer him back.
Yeah.
That's legacy. You lift those crystals and your kids, though, you live forever.
Mm.
That's legacy. Where they can say, damn, Dad, what should I do now? And out of nowhere, that voice comes, you know, son, remember that time when this is what you got to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legacy.
Yeah. I love that.
That's
And it's interesting because even if your father passes away, through your example,
Mm.
what would have dad do? What would have dad had done
Yes,
if
and
he
yeah,
and you get that wisdom, and it's powerful, man. I
yeah.
agree. That's why we have to lead by example.
You have to live by example. They're not going to look back, oh, you know, dad had like, you know, dad had a beautiful car. Remember my kids, don't even remember. My kids, I don't even remember the cars we were driving.
Yeah.
They don't remember crap.
Mm.
but they remember what I did.
Yep.
They still talk about shit I used to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they used to go, "Dad, like, you're crazy. You
Yeah.
were crazy." I go, "I never did that." I say, "Yeah, whatever." They remember stuff like, "Oh, but it's what they see every day."
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Maya Angelou got a nice quote. He said, "People won't remember what you said or what you did, but they'll remember the way how you make
Made
them
it feel.
feel."
That's right.
That's
Right.
sweet.
Yeah.
So that's the way I said. They talk about this, and they don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And they see me with my grandkids, and they go, "That ain't him."
Yeah.
Like, that's not me. Oh my God! But yeah, I think we gotta like. But you get older, you get wiser,
Of course.
and you start realizing things. And as I was going through my transformation physically, I also did a lot of research to heal the inner man.
Mm.
I started listening a lot of videos and things, and I started going deep inside and find out why I did this, why I did that,
Mm.
why was I this way, why did I yell so much, and I found why the anger. Then through a lot of research, I recognized that I have a lot of anger because I felt abandoned by my mother.
That's right.
Yeah, this perception is different from an adult.
Of course.
You can see a kid running down the street, and you say, "Oh no, stop running, stop running." But as a father or a parent, you may say, "Oh, there's a car coming, you want to save him." But now the kid doesn't know that. So the kid's perception, "Oh, he doesn't like me running."
Yeah.
So he doesn't run anymore.
Mm.
Not because it protects him, but because of running is no good.
Yeah.
It's just so many things. It's like,
Oh yeah.
so I started realizing why, a lot of whys, a lot of this, it's amazing. So I started doing a lot of inner work, started healing. So every time I cure a wound in my life, I used to sit with kids, mainly the boys. I remember that time I did this, I go, I was wrong, I was fucked up, and I want to ask you, and you got to verbalize it. I want to ask you for your apologies,
Mm.
because that wasn't right.
Yeah.
See, we don't verbalize things from them.
For sure.
We think, yeah, they know I'm sorry. No, brother, I'm sorry because I took you as that day and I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I should have never lifted my hands to you.
Mm.
You gotta verbalize things.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So it's like, so I learned that. So I started, every time I think of something and I know that I'm already over the hump, I talk to him.
Yeah. That's
I
good,
talk
man.
to him. And I told him, don't be the kind of husband I was. You could be, you have an example as a father, you take away what you want, you keep what you want. But I was a bad husband.
Mm-hmm.
I go, don't do that. I didn't know no better.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from my parents,
Mm-hmm.
to be a bad husband.
For sure.
So it's always by example. And I think we fix it. We fix the generation, one generation at a time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, like I was, 300 pounds, diabetic. I had a heart attack. I think I was 47,
Wow.
44, something. Anyway, I had a heart attack. I was a mess and, very sick. And now the kids, they start seeing my example. That I came back from that by example. I didn't just talk a good game. They're all healthy. They're all clean. They're all exercise. They all take care of themselves.
That's amazing.
But if I would have been the father, sat on the couch eating chicken,
Yeah, that's right. You
It's-
probably wouldn't even be alive.
I wouldn't be. No,
Yeah.
never would have been alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I would have been dead. Like
Mhm.
2020, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell people also, don't let your palate control your future.
Mm.
That's why I post a lot about my grandkids, because I want them to know there's life. There's so much more life. Your kids are not the end of the world. Once the grandkids come, you don't even want to see your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and that's why I talk about protect yourself, be healthy. So when they do come, you're ready.
Of course.
Imagine the 300, I don't know, I think it was 320-pound guy like this. I would have been
Yep.
I would have enjoyed my kids.
Yeah.
I take them to soccer games now. I go to the judo, to the jiu-jitsu. I go everywhere because I'm doing as much as I can while I have.
That's amazing, man. That's
Okay,
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, while we're in the topic of just health, and I know a lot of people on social media and television, they know you as Fab the Vegan.
Yeah.
What really was the turning point for you where you said, you know what, I'm gonna try this new way of life? Was it a documentary? I remember when the documentary What the Health had came out,
Yeah.
and that kind of like led a lot of people going into more plant-based. It raised awareness.
A lot of awareness.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any of them shows.
Mm.
So I tell people, in life, no matter where you are in life, you got to take inventory of yourself. So I sat, put a piece of paper, got me a pen. I made a list of what I saw in me. I didn't lie to myself. I always take Have a meeting with yourself and be truthful. Don't cover it up. And I wrote in the paper, all right, you fat fuck, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're fucking diabetic, not a heart attack, you're gonna die soon. What the fuck you gonna do? I wrote that, I put it in my fridge.
Wow.
I said, okay, I wanna live. So I started doing research. Like diet, then I started learning about diabetes, everything. I don't know how I bumped into this plant-based vegan stuff. All I know when I did the research and I found out was the true cause of diabetes, that it wasn't sugar, but what happens is that the animal fat clogs your veins and the insulin doesn't go in and
Yeah.
so on. I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to try this. But I said to myself, all right, you're not going to do this overnight. Let's be honest. At that time, I was 50. I said, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take one animal product at a time. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to join a gym. And so I started to say, okay, I saw it like I coach people. Don't start with what you love the most. Start with what you enjoy the least. For me, it was milk.
Yeah.
I said, okay. At that time, it was only coconut milk. I hated it so much that I only did coffee black.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Right? But I did that. Then I went from there. I just took it another 3 months. I think I did pork, and so on and so on. So 2 years later, the last thing I ate was eggs. Now I left eggs for the last is because eggs brought back a lot of memories. Mom used to come home every Sunday morning,
Yeah.
cook us a brunch, and you and me, a little chubby kid in the room. And that generation, the boys didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I have this fat kid in the room who went to Bob, said, okay, come get it. Oh my God. She used to have all this.
Back all those memories.
Oh my God.
Nostalgia.
Oh yeah. And the eggs with the tomatoes and scallions. Oh my God. So anyway, so the last thing I gave was eggs. And that's what I tell people. You can give up on the food, but you don't have to give up on the memory.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great advice, man.
Yeah, don't give. So anyway, so that's how I started. Little by little, 2 years later, I was animal free. I went for my last checkup, and my doctor said, I noticed that you're losing a lot of weight lately. What are you doing? So I just changed my diet. I didn't went vegan. Man. So I just changed my diet, joined the gym. I said, good. He goes, guess what? I don't know. I go, I don't know how to start, but I want to talk to you about something. I go, what? He goes, I got my blood work. He goes, I don't know what you're doing. He goes, but I don't see no sign of diabetes.
Wow.
So no sign of diabetes. And by that time, I already had stopped taking my meds because I used to check my sugar. I was good. I didn't take no meds. And I totally reversed my diabetes.
How long did it take?
It took me, I would say 2 years properly.
How much weight did you lose during those 2 years?
During those 2 years, I must have went down maybe like 70, 80 pounds, I think.
So did the weight, what kind of workouts were you doing or exercise? Like what really contributed the most to losing that much weight?
First, the food. Second, I used to go to the gym, do a lot of cardio, treadmill. I was too intimidated to go by the weights.
Yeah.
I was too intimidated, so I just kept going. I remember I used to get in the treadmill with the plastic. You got to 5 minutes. I was dead. Then I went 10 minutes, and so then I went a little longer. I always challenge myself to go another minute, and in the treadmill, a minute is it's like a year.
Yeah.
A year later, a year and a half later, I was actually jogging on the treadmill for an hour. And I learned that in life is little by little.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, let me go started with the weights and actually get muscle, everything. It's like a little bit, I just did everything slow. I didn't go to, no people say, oh, you can lose this much weight in 21 days. But then you gain it in 41 days, twice as much.
Yeah.
So I just stayed away from that. And look now, been keeping it off now for 11 years plant-based.
That's amazing.
And I don't even, I got to eat more because I tend to lose weight.
Yeah.
And so as I changed my diet, I started, so what I did, I had the plate. I just took chicken out of the way. But before I took chicken out of my plate, I started doing research to find out what I can supplement the chicken in my plate for the protein. And then that's when I started going into chickpeas and a lot of lentils. cauliflower, lentils, tofu, and things. So I just started I got so into it, right? Because I never cooked. No, my generation, Latinos men don't cook.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
macho. We don't
Yeah.
do that shit. Somos las mujeres for the word, right? Crazy stuff. So then I started learning. When I started learning how to cook, I actually I got so into that I went and bought me a knife set. I'm like, really? Bought me an apron. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I was into this, you know.
Not the apron. I love
Not
it.
the
I love
apron, yeah.
it.
So then I started, cooking, trying, and if it came out horrible, I just threw some hot sauce and ketchup.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ate it.
yeah, yeah.
Because I knew it was nutritious, but
Of course.
I just get the flavor. Right? That's what I tell people, just challenge yourself. Like, try, it's okay. So it comes out horrible. So what?
I love it.
So, and I kept it off and, still vegan. It's not like a lot of people say, do you miss meat? No, I don't.
Mm,
I really don't, because I like the way I look. I like when I look in the mirror. I say, damn, you sexy motherfucker.
that's right.
I
That's
like
right. Absolutely.
I talk to yeah, that's what Michael said. Talk to him in the mirror.
Yeah, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the vegan lifestyle? Because sometimes I hear things like because it's plant-based and plants receive their energy from the sun,
So, yeah.
even spiritually,
Mhm.
it has an effect on you
Mhm.
because you're consuming more light in a sense. The
Yeah.
way the plant is pretty much grown.
Yes.
Would you say spiritually it had an effect?
Oh
on you?
yes. Oh yes. It
Yeah.
does. It opens your eye
Of course.
because you're eating the sun.
Yep.
That's what you're actually when you eat salad, you're eating the sun.
Mhm.
When you veggies, you're eating the sun. Yeah, it definitely starts clearing up your mind. You start thinking clearer. The fog just goes. A lot of people. And there's a lot of studies that it's good, it's bad, blah. You got to find where you thrive.
Of course. What works for you?
What totally plant-based works for me.
Hmm.
For you could be pescatarian, you thrive on it. You could have meat one day a week, and you thrive on
I
it.
agree.
Like I compare, I did this on the talk show, relevant. I compare everybody to car tires. So you got small, medium, large, truck, they're all like big, but every tire thrives on a specific PSI,
Hmm.
pressure per square inch.
Yeah.
So you got to keep it inflated. They say small one takes 25. So you got to keep it inflated at 25. Because at 25, it's not too much where it blows out the tire,
Yeah.
and it's not too low that it drags.
For sure.
So find your PSI.
Yeah.
And you'll thrive and you'll be good.
Absolutely.
I'm not here to tell you vegan is the way to go. For me, it was.
Yep.
But for you, maybe just, I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
I
across the board.
Yeah, for me, I feel better with some meat as well. I always say 80% green, 20% gangster. It's just whatever,
Yeah.
whatever works for you. Yeah,
And that's why I like posting. That's why I like posting, having my beer. Like you said before, keeping it real. Having my cigar. Or I may go and eat some impossible burger. I know that's not good. But I'm not dead.
yeah,
Yes, I want to enjoy it. Here and then I have some, dairy-free ice cream. But it's not something that I need.
of course.
So, I think I'm going to have it. And I like my cigar. I'm not dead. I'm 63 years old.
Yeah,
Why did I get healthy for? To enjoy life.
Of
Not to
course.
be stuck in the gym.
Yeah.
Like once people ask me, well, Fred, you're so healthy. Why do you smoke cigars? It was on Facebook. So I stopped to think. I always post. Of course I can. She goes, good answer.
Yeah, really good answer.
Because I can. Why
That's right.
can you eat that? Because you can. Because
Of
everybody's
course.
different.
That's so good.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I'm not those vegans that say, no. There's a lot of vegans that I see that share a lot of false information. Because even the plants today are not as healthy as they were.
Yeah.
If you're not buying local and you're not, purchase it from a market or something, it's a crap game. Anything you do and eat, everything. They may say it's organic, but how do you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
So you have better choices, So just choose what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I tell people, you can. There's a lot of veggies you don't have to buy organic. Avocados you don't have to buy organic. Things that have a big peel you don't have to.
Mhm.
But things that you eat the skin, yeah, you should.
Of
Or
course.
maybe wash them a little longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I wash that.
For sure. For sure. That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a lot of life experience, and one of the things that I love that you said is sometimes you learn from people by what not to do,
Mm.
or how not to be. And I wanted to shed some light even on marriage because you have your fair share of experience,
Yeah.
and I love learning from men who've been through the fire and learning
Still
what
came
not
out,
to
still
do.
get through.
Yeah, and I'm curious, like if you could have done it all over again, what would you have done differently? For all the men who are watching, maybe some of your
Uh-huh.
grandsons are watching, and you want to give them some advice on maybe what not to do that you learned that was valuable. And obviously, it's never to demonize yourself
No, no, no.
because obviously that was a different season
Mhm.
of your life, and you were a different man during that
Yeah,
time. But I'm even asking for myself
yeah,
because
yeah,
marriage has been really difficult.
yeah.
It's very
It's tough.
difficult. Yeah.
So what I learned now, and I speak also a lot of it, is that when, it's a line culture, and a lot of culture, most cultures, is if you, if your marriage, and the family welcomes you to their family, right? To your family.
Yep.
Wrong.
Mm.
Start your own family. And what I mean by that, set your own rules, your own limits,
Your own values.
your own values. And when you already created a home,
Mm.
then you invite them into your family because they got to follow your rules.
Mm.
So what happens when you join them, they throw you in the pot, and that's why everybody gets all screwed up because you got toxic trauma shit that
Yeah.
going on for
Yeah.
generations.
Mm.
No, and you raise your kids separate
Wow.
because the beginning years are the years, and they know your rules, and I would suggest that. And also,
Wow. That's good. I've never heard
Yeah.
it explained like that.
I,
Really, really
I
good
learned that. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Because you go up and say, we're all family, got to be
Yep.
together. No,
Yeah.
no, you don't. You make
So
your own
true.
fact, create your rule.
Yeah.
I like this, I don't like that. A lot of people you go to Oriental home. What do they want you to do? Take off your shoes first, because it's their home,
That's right.
and you got to respect and do it.
That's right. Yeah.
Other ones don't give a shit, respect and don't shit.
Yeah.
But there's whatever happens in the house, it's their rules, and you got to obey. If
That's
you
so
wanna be a
good.
guest.
Yeah. So
Same
good.
thing, and that's one thing that I learned. And another also is you gotta, like, once you become married, you become one of two, And as a man, you have to pull back from a lot of your friends,
Mm.
a lot of your friends, because especially the single ones.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be married, hang out with married people.
I agree.
With singles, because they'll make you do some stupid shit,
That's
and you're
right.
like, "Fuck, what the hell did I do that for?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And your friend just,
Yep.
"Oh, you did it. I didn't force you to do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
shit like that. And what I see today a lot is this. That's why a lot of marriages are gonna fail. And I see it because I see things like this. I see a lot of friends on my social media every night networking.
Mm.
So están bailando salsa somewhere, networking, and all they leave is time every one night for the family.
That's right.
No, network one night. If it's gonna come to you, it's gonna come to you,
Of course.
and spend more time with your family,
Yeah.
with your kids, your wife, whatever it is, But don't be. I see them every night of them. I'm like, again.
Yeah.
Y tienen familia, and I know they got families,
That's
they
right.
got kids.
That's
I'm
right.
like, "Oof."
Yeah.
And of
That's
course,
so good. Yeah.
yeah, you have to spend more time at home, things like that.
I remember hearing a guy in my church group one time. He said he always traveled for business, and he always said nothing good ever happens after 10 p.m.
No,
So
no,
you're at
no.
these networking
Yeah,
events at
no,
10
no.
p.m. having a drink.
I
Really
mean,
good
what happened
advice.
in Ybor?
That's right.
At midnight,
Yeah.
nothing good happens.
Mhm.
No, there's places to be at, there's places not to be at.
Yeah. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
no, it's and you come by experience. I've learned I made
Yeah.
a lot of bad choices, so now I know. But I also tell that to my sons. Like my son just traveled to Georgia to go bid on a job, and he took his wife. And I called him. I said, "Good, I'm glad I go.
Yeah.
Take her alone. I can always watch the kids or your sister, whatever. Take your wife.
That's good.
So yeah, spend some time together.
Of course.
Doesn't matter what you do. You don't do nothing, but you're there with them."
Yeah. Really, really great advice,
Yeah,
brother.
you have to.
If there's any advice you would give to your grandchildren or even great grandchildren,
Oh, can't
I'm
wait.
sure you'll probably have great great grandchildren
Yeah.
watching this. But if there was any advice you can give to them, what's some of the first things that come to mind?
Advice. Let me see. My advice is stay healthy and love your parents.
Mm. Yeah.
Stay healthy and love them. Everything else don't matter.
Yeah.
Your health, you need it.
That's right.
And your parents, they'll be gone. Like, my mother, passed away 5 years ago. And today I'm thinking about her. And, in my subconscious, I still think she talks to me,
Yeah.
and gives me advice and everything. But when she was telling me this, I didn't listen.
Hmm.
I knew everything.
Yeah.
You know how we are.
Yeah, for sure.
But as a parent, you forgive. But love your parents, listen to them, and stay healthy. Everything, money, that comes and goes.
Yeah.
Relationships, that comes and goes.
Hmm.
It happens. That's why that's what it
course,
is.
of course.
But just I feel because your parents are the only one that really want to see you succeed.
That's right.
It is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
No, that's good advice, man. And before we bring the plane in for our landing, I wanted to ask if you could give your advice, if you can give advice to your 20-year-old self before all the shit,
Yeah.
right, that you had to go through to avoid
Yeah.
everything that you, what advice would you give if he was here having a cigar with you right now?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to 20-year-old Fabricio? Yeah.
A lot of I've seen that question before, and a lot of people actually go, "What will you tell him?" I can't tell him anything. The motherfucker knows everything. Yeah, he knows everything. Yeah, so it's like you can't really to a 30-year-old maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
20-year-old, they know too much.
Yeah.
They got it all figured out, and they're already planning on being millionaires by 30.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So true.
it's like
So
But
true.
one advice that I would give him is go back to school.
Mm,
Education is important.
yeah.
Even if you don't use it, it's important.
Mm.
Knowledge is always knowledge is something they can't take away.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. What would you say is the greatest value with the education? Because I know you send your kids
Yeah,
to
yeah.
school too.
Yeah.
What would you say is the greatest value? Even if they, I know you said knowledge,
Yeah,
no one
yeah,
can ever
yeah.
take it away, but what do you see today for young guys starting out is the greatest value?
Greatest value is you get to socialize with people and learn that everybody differs in opinion. But just because somebody don't agree with you doesn't mean that he's your enemy.
Yeah.
He just got his own opinion. And the more you go to school, the more you learn, the more you see that yes, everybody's got their own opinion, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But if you stay glued to the screen, you think everybody hates you.
Mm.
No, you sit with people from other cultures, and we're all the same. Everybody's just trying to learn. You see other cultures, you see other people,
Different perspectives,
different way of people,
different cultures, everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the greatest value in education.
Mm.
When you're involved and you're out there, you see that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's interesting because I was the first person in my family to go off to college, and that was major for me, being exposed to different cultures for the very first time as a young Latino growing up in the hood, and for the first time now I'm around conservatives. I'm around people who have different political ideals, and it really opened up my mind, man. So,
It does. It opens up your mind. It's like these days. Like I remember the first time I was in Bloom. That was like 5 years ago. I think I'm sure. So I'm sitting there next to Gail, and I'm just waiting. They're miking me up and everything, and I'm saying to myself, I'm in like, damn fat, look at your way. I was flashing back to the days in the hood, and everything helped my life, like wow, from people taking nutrition advice from a guy that was over 200 pounds, and I'm just thinking all this in my mind, and I was like, plus I'm sitting next to Gail, because when I moved to Florida, she used to be in the news, back early 2000. That was my crush.
Yeah.
That was my crush. And then I'm sitting next to her, and I'm like, check this out. And she's telling me how nice I look and everything. And I'm like, wow, this is such good people.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So I just sit there and I just reflect on everything. So wow, not too shabby.
Wow.
Not too shabby. But that's because you're out there mixing with people and things like that, and it's I just sit beside myself and then they're calling me back and so on, the podcast, I run the Spanish television, baby snacking to the house, and all that.
It's amazing.
Amazing. And again, it's just those little steps that you make every day. And your goal is going to come, but at due time.
Yeah.
And the tree only gets its fruit in due time.
Of course.
And every fruit tree gets its fruit on his time. A papaya tree is fruit quicker than a mango tree.
Yeah.
And so on and so on. So relax. You could be an avocado tree. I could be a mango tree. That doesn't mean we're not going to bloom, but we give a food and different. Don't stop comparing yourself.
So good. So good.
Compare
Yeah.
yourself, you know?
No, I
Yeah.
love that, brother. And if my final question is, what's the vision for Fab the Vegan at this stage? Now you're in your 60s. You spoke about, I love, before we came here and sat
Yeah.
down, you mentioned how in your 20s and your 30s, there's different reasons and
Mhm.
intentions for drinking or smoking a cigar.
Right,
And you
right.
get to your 60s, you kind of know yourself at that
Yeah.
point. And you're obviously at a place in your life where you know your purpose, you know who you are as a man,
Right.
but you still have a lot of living to do.
Oh,
You
yes.
can go
Oh,
another
yes.
40, 50 years,
Oh, yes.
especially with all of today's
With all
advances.
that.
So what's the vision now for you? And if there's any departing words that you would share for those brothers who are starting out, or anybody starting out on their journey, what would be your final piece of advice you would share with them?
Yeah, and actually, that both questions they go together because right now I'm contemplating, which I always like this, contemplating. I want to maybe start a podcast or something, but I want to help young men like 20, 21. They're out of high school. They don't know what to do. They get caught up in the social media world. And, you know, they fail and they think they're failures, but they don't realize that the system is failing.
Yeah.
You know, so I would love to share my story and let them know that, look, a high school dropout like myself, with no education, the farthest I went was ninth grade.
Mhm.
And I'm living a dream, you know, not that dream, but a dream. And it's like, you know, it's amazing. So I would say, keep fighting. You're not the problem. You were just indoctrinated into something that it wasn't you.
Mm.
You know, just sit by yourself and think, who are you? Make that list, like I said before. Who am I? And be truthful.
Yeah.
Me, like I said, I was a high school dropout in ninth grade. I got my GED and all this other BS in my life. But every day I always challenge myself. And if you have to keep challenging yourself every day, whatever it is, you know, maybe the way you wear. I didn't dress like this.
Mm.
But, you know, I started losing weight. I started liking myself in
Oh,
the
yeah.
mirror. So, you know what? I'm going to dress you.
I
I'm going
love
to
that.
find clothes for you and I'm going to dress you up.
Mm.
I'm going to make you look good. I got my earrings back. I put them back on. I think in 2016, 2017. And my beard grew. I started shaving my hair. Started wearing clothes, nice clothes. I started looking for my, you know, and now it's become a brand, which is kind of
That's
cool,
right.
you know. But I want to dress me.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you again, whatever makes you cry, from food and clothes. You don't have to copy anybody else. Like now, everybody knows you from my hat.
Mm.
And the only reason I got a hat was because, you know, I started using coconut oil on my skin instead of
Yeah.
lotion, you know. And the mosquitoes were biting me every day. Clack, clack, clack. I said, oh man. And I thought the worst. I don't like baseball cap.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, damn. So I walked into a store at the mall and I saw a hat that looked like Rocky's from the movie.
Mm.
So I put it on. I said, "What
That's
the
me
hell?"
right there.
That's me. I said, okay. I said, you know what? I'm going to buy it. And I bought it. No lie though. I was so self-conscious of wearing because what they're going to say.
Yeah.
I didn't wear it like 2 months later.
Wow.
One day I just put it on to go to the store. You know, nobody looked at me. Weird. So, okay, so I started wearing. Then I got addicted. Now I got like 60, 70 hats.
I love it.
Yeah, I
I
got
love it.
every color, everything, you know. But again, you got to just pause, just find yourself. What makes you you are.
That's
And
beautiful.
that's what I
Yeah.
would like to, you know, teach younger people, you know, who would like to go and be entrepreneurs. Don't call yourself entrepreneur yet. Find yourself.
Yeah.
Find what, you know, a lot of people put that title so they can
Of course.
achieve,
Yeah.
you know, without a penny in the bank.
Yeah.
You know, call yourself entrepreneur when you build something. Right now, we used to call it a hustle.
Yep.
Get up and hustle every day. You know, you travel, go to where we here because you respect your hustle. And
Yeah.
you respect what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and every day do something. Take care of your health. You know, your appearance. You don't go out, especially social media. You don't go out there looking like shit.
Yeah.
You know, because people are going to say, hey, look at that. Let's take a picture.
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm not dressful.
Yeah.
Be dressed.
That's right.
Well, that's the new autograph.
That's right. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
pictures are the new autograph.
That's right.
You know? So, yeah, so just, and that's something I would like to start in 2026.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
pay it forward,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah.
Pay it forward.
Well, man, I look forward to following the journey. Something tells me we're gonna do a lot of life together.
Oh,
brother.
good. Me too.
This was so it was nutrition for the soul.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And I appreciate you giving me your time here and being
Yeah,
able to have a
thank you.
cigar with you. And
Yeah, thank you.
you know, for a young brother who also grew up without his biological father, it hits different for me
Yeah.
to be able to sit here with a man that has gone through some shit.
Right, right.
You've earned your war wounds, and you've licked them along the way, and
Oh, yeah.
and bounced back and found your way back to the light,
Yeah.
and you've created something special for yourself with your brand and your family and
Right, right.
who you became as a man. And I thank you for your time, brother. And where can our audience find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook. You can go to my regular page. It's Fabrizio Fab Zambrano. I post everything there. I got another one, Fab the Vegan, but I'm not too active there. Instagram is Fab the Vegan 63, and TikTok is Fab the Vegan.
Love it. Love
You
it.
know.
Appreciate you, my
No,
brother.
thank you.
This
Appreciate
was
you.
good, man.
Yeah,
This is
love it,
really,
love it.
really
Thank
good. I
you.
can't wait for
Appreciate
our audience to hear your story. And
Thank you.
if you guys enjoyed this, like, comment, share, tag someone who can get value from it. Make sure you follow Fab the Vegan wherever he's at online. And till next time, guys, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.